A single government decision just added thousands of crores to corporate profits. No new technology, no export boom, no shortage, just a tax cut. And suddenly, India's tire companies are reporting their strongest quarter in over a year. Yes, tires, the most ignored part of your vehicle, just became the hottest story in the manufacturing. So how did one tax change turn a boring industry into a profit machine almost instantly? The numbers coming out of India's tire industry are explosive. Apollo crossed 5,000 crore rupees in quarterly India revenue for the first time. CEAT crossed 4,000 crore. JK Tyre profits jumped nearly 4 times. Factories are running above 85% capacity. CEAT volumes up 21%. JK Tyre up 16%. On paper, it looks like a manufacturing supercycle. Except none of this came from exports or innovation. It came from one policy move. Last year, the government changed just one number and everything shifted. GST on tires dropped from 28% to 18%. A straight 10% point cut. A truck tire priced at 35,000 rupees fell to around 32,200. A two-wheeler tire dropped from roughly 2,500 to about 2,300. For transporters and rural buyers, that difference changes purchase decisions. But before sales exploded, something strange happened. The entire market froze. Before the boom, tire sales actually collapsed. When news of the GST cut spread, dealers stopped buying. Dispatches slowed. Inventory levels fell from 15 to 20 days to barely 2 or 3. Nobody wanted high-tax stock when cheaper tires were weeks away. So buyers waited, companies paused. Then October arrived, taxes dropped, and demand came rushing back. The moment GST hit 18%, tire demand exploded, inventories normalized, volumes surged. Two-wheeler tires grew in double digits. Commercial vehicles replacement demand turned positive. Passenger car tires improved. Apollo called it their best growth in 12 quarters. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Was this real demand or just delayed buying? Did India suddenly need more tires or just cheaper ones? Before the GST cut, truckers were under pressure. Fleet rates were falling. Trucks were running fewer kilometers. Less running means slower tire wear. And slower wear means delayed replacement. So when prices dropped, buyers didn't suddenly need more tires. They simply executed postponed purchases. Pent-up demand always has a limit. For this boom to last, something deeper must change. How India buys tires. For sustained growth, buyer behavior must change. Truckers need earlier replacements. Buyers must shift from unbranded to branded tires. At 28% GST, avoiding formal channels made sense. At 18%, branded tires became more competitive. Premiumization could rise, formal market share could expand. But could is the key word, because another force, rural India, is quietly driving demand right now. A good monsoon may be powering tire sales as much as the tax cut. Better rains boosted farm income. Higher income means more tractors and two-wheelers. More vehicles mean more tires. CEAT reported stronger rural replacement demand. Apollo saw rural strength even in passenger cars. But rural demand is seasonal. And despite this uncertainty, tire companies are making massive long-term bets. Tire companies are now spending thousands of crores to expand capacity. Apollo about 5,800 crore rupees in expansion. CEAT over 1,300 crore for a new plant. JK Tyre more than 1,100 crore investment. Plants are already running above 85% utilization. Some truck tire lines are nearly full, but new factories will only be ready around financial year 2028 or 2029. So what happens if demand cools before these plants are ready? Even as revenues surge, costs are rising quietly. The rupee weakened, natural rubber prices increased. Margins are already under pressure. Most companies avoided price hikes and passed GST benefits to customers. Taking those benefits back will not be easy. So profits now depend on one thing: sustained high demand. And even companies company management is not fully sure that demand is real. This is the fine line between reform-driven growth and tax-driven optics. A GST cut boosted earnings, triggered massive expansion, revived investor optimism. But if this was mostly delayed demand, growth could normalize quickly. Because in economics, timing can look like transformation. So are we seeing the start of a real manufacturing boom or a perfectly timed spike? Structural boom or temporary spike? Tell me in the comments. This is Indu Tyagi and you're watching Wantstats. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay tuned to Wantstats for the news that matters.